Okay, everybody, welcome to part two of turning a Honda Spree engine into a Honda Elite engine. And here we go. I'm going to show you guys how I put this together, what it took. But as you can see, everything's in here. I did end up using a SB50 from a JDM Honda PAL crankshaft, so I can run a variator. It's a engine that was only available in Japan, I believe, and it's a variated version of the Spree motor, basically, so you're able to use that crankshaft in the Spree motor. Other than that, you can still use your regular Spree crankshaft and accomplish the same exact thing I did. It'll just still be single speed. I just obviously wanted a variated setup on here, so did that. And I also will say I accidentally said SA50 crankshaft in one of the first clips, but no, it's an SB50. But as you can see, I got it done. Everything's together. I did end up redesigning this adapter plate, and I'll show you how I did that, but it is all one piece now between the intake and the mating surface of the cylinder. So it actually has a lot better flow into the transfer ports, and I also opened up the transfer ports in the block as much as I could, or in the engine case as much as I could, which isn't much, but basically you're able to open up the front corners on each side just a little bit because they angle inward. You're basically able to make them straight up with this setup and open up this plate into the transfer ports of the cylinder. But it does run. I've ran it a few times since the first start I'll show you on this video. And you'll notice definitely on the first start of this video there's a lot of smoke, but that's because when I assembled everything I basically put a ton of two-stroke oil in the crankcase, on the bearings, and all the connecting rod and everything, so it's burning all that out. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video today, and we actually got it running. Only thing I'm waiting on is a variator to come in, and in the next video about this motor we will actually be taking it out for a ride and see how much power it makes. Oh, actually, one other thing I do want to put out or point out is that yes, I do realize that with this stock cylinder in the 39mm bore I have gone down in engine size. I believe it's like 45, 46 cc's now, but the whole point of this project is now I can go online and I can order any cylinder big bore kit, like piston or big bore kit, for the Honda Elite AF16 or AF18 motors, and it'll bolt straight onto this Honda Spree motor now. So in the future we will also be doing a big bore kit on here. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you for checking it out. Alright, so what I've got here is a SA50 crankshaft from a JDM SA50. It's a variated motor that is actually based off the Spree motor. So this actually should drop right into the Spree motor, and you just have a variated shaft built right onto there then. So everything's pretty much the same as the Spree crank. Rod and everything is the same, so I'm just going to use this for this build. You can still use your regular Spree crankshaft and do the same thing I'm about to do. But in order to use this Elite cylinder, what I've got here is a connecting rod from a Honda MTX 50. The big end, or I'm sorry, the small end of this connecting rod fits a 12mm wrist pin for the Elite piston, and then the big end of this connecting rod is the same size, fits a 16mm pin, which is the same as the Spree crankshaft. So with that, we should be able to put this connecting rod on this crankshaft and run this Elite cylinder. Also, this is from center to center, this is 91mm, so this will give us the length we need to reach top dead center on our cylinder and build a thicker adapter plate to have better transfer ports. So I'm going to go ahead and get this crankshaft pressed apart and press this new connecting rod onto this crankshaft. Alright guys, so now we've got our connecting rod from our MTX50 on this SB50 crankshaft, which is the same dimensions as a spree, so you can do the same exact thing to a spree crankshaft. This one just happens to have the end for a variator on here. But yeah, we've got our MTX50 connecting rod on here. I don't know if you can tell, but it's definitely longer. It's 91 millimeters versus the 74 or 75 millimeters of the stock rod. And like I said before, it's got the small end big enough for a 12 millimeter wrist pin. So we can run our DO piston. And then the extra length will allow it to reach top dead center, or pretty much the top of the cylinder on our cylinder. So now we just need to start remaking this adapter plate, because after measuring everything, this is obviously going to be too thin with the extra length. We need to remake this plate out of the 6 millimeter aluminum. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and I'm also going to make the intake adapter one piece on this whole setup, so it'll be really slick. So I'm going to go ahead and get that cut out, and then we'll start building the rest of this. So I finally have the 6 millimeter thick adapter plate finished. The cool thing about using the 6 millimeter thick plate is this side can match the cylinder head for the spree, or the case side for the spree, and then this side you can kind of pour it out to match the transfer ports on the Elite cylinder over here. And we've got our MTX 50 connecting rod in here. Just want to show you guys real quick that it does fit this Honda Dio 39 millimeter piston. Go ahead and slide this in with a 12 millimeter wrist pin. If I can get it lined up. There we go. Fits right on there. So now I'm going to start assembling everything together. This side is going to require the head gasket here, intake gasket here. You're going to have to assemble it all at once with the gaskets there, and then you're also going to have a head gasket on this side and the intake gasket on this side as well. So it'll be 2 layers of gaskets in between the cylinder and the adapter plate. But I'm going to go ahead and start assembling everything, and hopefully we can get this thing to run. Okay guys, so here it finally is. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of skipped ahead on this video a little bit, but this was a ton of work, honestly. Just making this little plate by hand, this was not easy. But everything's on there, everything's together. Motor turns over, it has compression, everything. Interesting fact, not that this will really matter to most people, but if you do try to do this SB50 crankshaft, you have to use the flywheel from an 85 spree. Even though it only fits in the 86 spree case, you gotta use the flywheel from the 85. But this is where it is right now. Obviously this is gonna be an issue. Need to figure out something better for cooling. And then I do plan on getting an actual Elite cylinder head, but that'll be in the future. For right now, I guess it's time to start prepping this to go on the scooter and see if it runs. Can't do that tonight, but I guess tomorrow morning I'll try and start it up for you guys. Alright everybody, well here goes the first start of our very unique little Honda Spree motor here. I think I'm gonna call it Project Spree Leet. But yeah, we'll go ahead and start it up. I've got the DO exhaust on here, so it should match up with that cylinder pretty well. I guess without any more delay, let's go ahead and try and get it started. See if it runs at all even. If this project was a huge waste of time. Popping, doing something. Who would have thought it would actually run? Yeah, I think I need to put some new high temp sealant on the exhaust pipe right there where it joins together. But it's actually running. It's pretty cool.